All right, everybody, welcome in. We're about to do an Auburn versus LSU breakdown. I think everybody in Baton Rouge and all over the great state of Louisiana knows who I am. I am the clown who ran. I am a man of my word. LSU, kudos to you guys. You guys did your thing when the Gators come to town. You did a lot of things I didn't think you could do and put it on film, but like I said, I'm a man of my word, so I stuck to my guns and put a clown suit on and ran, and a lot of you guys had some positive feedback, and I've been cussed out by others. So either way, we're going to move on and do this Auburn LSU breakdown. And the reason we didn't do a breakdown last week, usually we don't break down unless there's a big game college-wise, because we do so much stuff with our high schools around here. But this one's definitely one we want to dive into. And I want to welcome in my buddies right here. We'll start down here with Mr. Buddy Ford. Buddy is a sponsor on our show here. Kudos to that, man. Buddy stuck his neck out for us. And like tonight, we had, 20-something local student athletes. And Buddy bought pizzas for everybody. And he hosts our Player of the Week. That is my man, Buddy Ford, right there. I don't know who this guy is right here.
I don't know, but you're only a clown one day a year like other fan bases. But anyway.
Oh, no. Kevin Moore, he's not taking a shot at LSU. He's just kidding with you guys.
Yeah, I just like to do it for fun. I mean, now Tennessee, now I really take a shot at them. But anyway.
Now, David right here, a lot of LSU fans actually said he was the only sane one on the cast last time when we did the LSU Florida breakdown. And that might be true. David's a pretty even-keeled guy. But let's dive into this game. Guys, what we know about this game, it's going to be at 2:30. It's in Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, not the War Eagle Tiger. Now, LSU is a 14-point favorite in this one. It started at 12 or 12.5. It's climbed to 14. I think a lot of people around the nation are definitely buying into LSU, and for good reason, because that Florida win was huge from them from the standpoint of, can Burrow do this versus a really good defense? And he did do that versus a good defense of ours. Now, he was throwing in two tough corners. The offensive line, I was more impressed with LSU's offensive line than I was with Burrow or anybody, because they gave him time. They also opened up some huge running lanes. They gashed us running the football, which, had us on our heels a little bit to where Burrow could get those passes off. We had no answer for Justin Jefferson. Edwards-Helaire ran wild on us. I mean, they really did a number on Florida's defense, and I think Florida played near perfect on offense to stay in that game. And kudos to Trask and company. Defense kind of got shredded, man. I mean, kudos to LSU. What was your takeaways from that game before we talk about moving forward into this Auburn game?
Well, it was just that the offense kept rolling against the first real challenge they had. I mean, Florida's defense was the best thing they'd seen so far this year. And the offense, in a lot of ways, didn't miss a beat. And it being in Tiger Stadium and a home crowd like that makes a big difference. But the defense, still not up to LSU standards, but they made the plays when they had to. Late in the game, they came through and they made the plays late. Now, what impressed me almost as much as the LSU-Florida game was the fact they did not have a letdown against Mississippi State. That's a very easy game to have a letdown in, going between a Florida and an Auburn game, top 10 matchups, and to go to Mississippi State and play, Mississippi State's a little bit of a sleepy environment for the SEC, and for them to go in there and play like that and, continue the beatings, that's impressive to see from a team that looks like they're extremely focused right now.
Now, this week, when I go up against Auburn, Auburn's front four is as advertised. They're very good. Their front four is as good as Florida's. With Gennard going out first play of the game, I knew that was going to hurt us a little bit, and then Zanika went out later in the game. Derek Brown is probably going to be a top 10 draft pick for sure. KJ Britt is another guy who is a very, very good linebacker out of Oxford, Alabama, who makes a lot of plays. Kevin, talk about Auburn's defense from the standpoint of what kind of trouble they could possibly present to LSU.
Very physical. And I know LSU's offense right now, the strength is throwing the ball, with Burrows getting downfield to the receivers. And I know they had some big running plays against Florida. But that defense, the front seven of Auburn is probably, preseason it was probably the top in the nation, or at least top three. And for Auburn to win, they know they've got to be physical up front and hold LSU to probably, I would imagine, under 100 yards rushing the ball. And be able to put pressure on and affecting the quarterback, affecting Joe Burrow, forcing him to throw, forcing him to make bad throws, which will hopefully turn into interceptions for the Auburn Tigers.
Now, buddy, you seen the Florida-Auburn game, and you know all about Bo Nix being from the state of Alabama. Do you think this stage is going to be too big for Bo Nix? I mean, Gainesville kind of was a little too big for him, do you think?
I really don't. I mean, I like the way Bo plays. He's a physical guy. I know he's young, but he plays with a maturity level of a lot of older guys. So, no, I don't think it will.
You think he should?
I think it'll be fine.
I think he learned a lot in Gainesville, and he kind of got baptized under fire. And LSU's defense presents a little bit different. They don't come with the constant pressures of Florida, but I mean, we didn't have pressure on LSU. Again, kudos to their offensive line. But you may be right. I think he learned pretty good. David, talk to me about this LSU offense. Dissect it a little bit and what it presents to Auburn's defense.
Well, what LSU's going to do is they've gone opposite of what they've always done. They're passing to set up the run. And they've got receivers all over the field. They've got Justin Jefferson. They're actually getting Terrence Marshall back, who was a big key for them early on before he broke his foot against Vanderbilt. And he was leading the team in touchdowns. And that getting the key like that back when your offense is already rolling like it is just another piece of pie on top. And the offensive line is starting to gel together. Burrows get time in the pocket. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do because this defense is, it could be one of the best defenses they've seen all year. Auburn's got players at every level right now. Auburn's got Moultrie, they got Brown, they got Big Cat Bryant up front. Then you got KJ Britt, you got Ignominy. I can't say that guy's name anytime, but he's this guy in the secondary. But they've got guys at every level. So it's going to be a challenge for LSU, but I think this is what you want to see if you're Ed Orgeron and those coaches. You want to see how you do against each. You want to go against the best because as the time goes along, you're going to have to continue to go against the best. When you get to Alabama, if you make the SEC championship game, you see Georgia or Florida again, maybe. And then when you get in the playoffs. So you want to see what you do against this type of defense throughout the season.
Now, here's another thing. Will there be any look ahead to that off week and then getting ready for the big challenge versus Alabama? What do you guys think, buddy? What do you think LSU's going to take these guys serious, or do you think they're going to kind of look ahead?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a Coach O fan myself. I am, and I don't think he takes any game lightly. I would think that he's going to take it very seriously. Absolutely.
Kev?
What's that sport where? What's it called? Where you're on the log and you're on the water and you're spinning around and you're trying to go as fast as you can. What's the name of that sport?
Tom and Jerry.
That's the LSU football team right now. They're on there. They're spinning. They're going as fast as they can. They keep from falling in the water. And if you look up, they're going to see that poster of Nick Saban, and then there in the water they go.
Oh, man, let's move on today.
No, seriously. It's going. I think Coach O will be giving them. Will take this game seriously because if they lose this game, they're already behind the sticks, so to speak, because they've got because then they have to beat Alabama to stay in the race for the SEC West to go to Atlanta, because it's a very important game, and the loser of this game is pretty much done as far as going to Atlanta. I think so. Now there's still a lot of football left to be played, but hypothetically, if
because Auburn would have 2 SEC losses.
At that point. And see, and they're in if Auburn loses, they got 2 SEC losses, and they're behind Alabama and LSU. So it doesn't matter what they do.
Right.
Chick-fil-A bowl, here they come.
I mean, I don't think that they're going to have a choice to overlook them. LSU, probably the biggest benefit they've got right now is they're quite possibly the most tested team in the country right now, based on their schedule. They played.
I'll say that.
This will be their third top 10 matchup right here. Yeah. So they are as challenged as anybody in the country. There's a big matchup coming up between Alabama and LSU. Alabama actually has a chance to overlook a little bit more than LSU does playing Arkansas. Alabama's got a chance to go ahead and look ahead. LSU's got to focus right here because if they overlook Auburn, it can very well cause a problem.
All right, it's prediction time. I'm going to go ahead and start off myself. Let me get this out of the way. I learned my lesson, man. And, they showed out there. And again, kudos to me, their offensive line is what was way better than I thought, honestly. I thought that would be one of their biggest letdowns against Florida, but they actually was their biggest strength, which gave Burrow the time, and then Edwards-Helaire the time the lanes to run in. I love Bo Nix. He's from the state of Alabama. Know his dad real well. I don't see them going into Baton Rouge and beating these guys. I'm looking for a 35-17 LSU.
Me up next. All right. I think that, like I said, I think Auburn's defense is going to present some problems. I think they'll give some looks. I think Kevin Steele's a genius right now with the defense. He's done a fantastic job since he got to Auburn. I think he'll present some problems for Burrow. I think he may give him some looks he hasn't seen yet. But I kind of see this going the same way Auburn went in Florida. I think the defense will play well and keep them in the game, but I think they're going to struggle to move the football just because it's another game where you've got a young quarterback going into a hostile environment. I think that they'll keep them in, but I think the defense is just going to get worn down at the end. I'm going to say LSU wins at 41-20.
41-20. All right.
Well, I've sat long and hard thinking about this game. I think LSU's probably the better team. It's been 1999 since Auburn has won at Tiger Stadium. People have made fun of the Gus Bus breaking down, the Gus Bus starting up. But at the end of the day, it comes down to who can surprise, who plays better as far as penalties and turnovers. But I'm suspect of the LSU defense, so I'm going with 31-24.
War Eagles?
War Eagles. 31-24.
So I'm sold on Auburn. I mean, on LSU's offense, but their defense is a little, give up 38 points to a Texas team that gave up 45 points to Kansas. Les Miles. That kind of ring a bell anywhere? Anyway.
Wow.
And then, and I think they will be looking ahead to Alabama.
Could happen. Buddy Ford?
I don't see him looking ahead.
They're looking forward to that annual loss, but anyway.
Well, I'm a Bo Nix fan
sorry.
too because he's from the state of Alabama. I like the way he plays. I like his maturity level, being a young player. But with Whitlow out, playing at LSU,
That's huge, yeah.
I mean, it's huge. So I still think Gus will figure out how to score points. That's what he does. I've got 35-21 LSU.
35-21 LSU Tigers.
And I think a big key in this game also, we didn't talk about it, LSU's getting they're getting a bunch of their defense back right now. Their front seven, I think last week might have been the first week that most of their front seven played together since the beginning of the season. So Divinity's been hurt, Chason's been hurt, they've been having guys that have been mixing in. Getting all those guys back, they're at the right time of the season right here to get those guys back.
All right, so LSU guys, we got your preview you've been asking for. Whenever the big games come about, you will get one each week. We're definitely going to start breaking down LSU some. And we appreciate you guys watching. You guys have been, some of you guys give it to us, and I love it. Some of you guys have been absolutely great, and I paid my debt to you guys, so I enjoy you guys watching and the guys that subscribe. We had 250 subscribers from the state of Louisiana since that video.
That's awesome.
This is Average Joe Sports Talk. We are out.